अब देखते हैं memorization, how I will perform the longest common subsequence with memorization of the things. So in memorization, what I have to do is that the adding the 2-3 lines in the code, that after the adding of the 2-3 line of the code, that the code is converted into the memorization of the code. Where we need to add the code, first of all we have to create the one of the array, or the 2D array may be possible, that the depending on the condition, but there are the thing are the n or m, which is very, that's why I create the two 2D array here. And before the proceeding the recursion, I have to check that whether the value already exists, or the already exists or not. Then depending on that condition we will return the value, otherwise we will calculate this value. So if talk about the recursion code, what are the things at the as we have known that the if the length are equal to 0, and the maybe there is a chances that the n equal to 0, or m equal to 0. In this case we have to return the 0. So that's when there is a possibility that the 2D array, which 2D array is, initially we created the 2D array with given the integer and integer, we created the 2D array. That means here if you see here, we have created the 2D array int square bracket t, and 2D array is it's initialized the inside of the function of the longest common subsequence. After the initialization of the inside of the function, we fill it. Why I did need to fill this all the value with n or m with -1? Because there is a possibility that the sum 2, if the length of the strings are the 0, then in that case they will return the 0. Maybe matlab that means there is a possibility that this 2D matrix will contain the some value of the 0. So we have to put that value, that not possible in the case of the not possible inside of the array, is 2D array. If two array or two string and having the substring equal to 0, or the m may be some things, it cannot be it's never been negative. That's why I have put the negative value inside of it. After initialization of these things, I have done the what I have did the return type. During the return type of the tn and tm equal to 0, this is when the condition is n equal to 0, or m equal to 0. In this kind, this function is equal to is also a return a value, not only the store the value, it also return that value which is assigned to him. So this things is happen here. Then after that, before calling the recursive value, this is the calling of the recursive value. Here we call the two types of the recursion, but here we call the only one time of the recursion. Before the calling the recursive value, I have called the check the value inside of the array, that t of n and m is not equal to -1. Then I have to return the value of the t of n and t of m. Depending on the value of the n and m, this value will be returned. This is the memorization code of the longest common subsequence. After understanding of the memorization code of the longest common subsequence, we will move toward the top-down approach. In top-down approach, if you see that there is a base condition. In top-down approach, we need to first create the table, and after creating of the table, we have to initialize this table with some value. If this value is indicate n and m, because there are two things are the vary in this function, that the length of the n and m are the remaining on the tag on the string, but other things are the vary. So initialization is done is the minus 0 0 0. That means when the length of the length of the string is equal to 0, 1 2 3, the length of the string is equal to 0. That means this one, at that time the common length of the common subsequence is equal to 0. That's why this all the things are the field with the 0. And similarly here, length of the common subsequence is n equal to 0, then the common length of the subsequence will be 0. That's why here it completely fill with 0. Initialization will happen. Then after that, I compare the recursive call with the top and down approach. In the recursive call, what we do, that the checking the condition that if they have containing the same character at an index and the n minus 1 index and m minus 1 index, then we have to leave both of the, and we have to call n minus 1 and the m minus 1 having plus 1 on it. This is the first thing. Then in second case, I have to return the maximum of the m comma n minus 1 and the n minus 1 comma m. So in this case we have to return the maximum of t of m square bracket n minus 1 and comma t of m minus 1 and n. This is the return of the things. If I talk about the what are the final code of the final code of the recursive code of this, so there is the first of the creation of the array. That means creating the t array with m plus 1 size and n plus 1 size. Then after creating, we initialize that the, as I discussed, that the if m equal to 0 and n equal to 0, that at that time put the value equal to 0. Then after initialization of this all the things, there is a running the loop for the I equal to 1, and for the this all the value are the already filled with the 0, and this value is also filled with the 0. So this is I equal to 1 and I is less than m plus 1 and I plus plus for the particular this row, and this if having the same character, then t of the I equal to t of ij equal to 1 plus t of I minus 1 and j minus 1. This is the one thing. Else, other than what the condition, you will add the maximum of the t of ij, store the maximum of the t I minus 1 j or I j minus 1. So these are all the things I have done. If I told you the clear code, whatever the existing running code is, that this is the running code, that the creating taking the length of the string, and after that we created the array. There is no need to initialize the array because this is a primitive array. All the value has already filled with the 0. That's why I does not allow initialize the array here. Then I started iterating with I equal to 1 and j equal to 1, and if the founded the character are the same, then I call for the n minus 1 and j minus 1. Here I pass the I minus 1 is the index and j minus 1 as a index. This is the value we store in the ti minus tj. Then after that, if the if the last character are not matches, then t of the call for the maximum value of maximum of I comma j minus 1 or j I minus 1 j. This is a call for this. Then after that the things will happen, and at the last you need to call you need to return the last value of the t of the n comma and m. These are the value are the repeating at the last. This is a memorization this is a top down approach for the array. for the longest common subsequence. Here only we have written the length. Now after that I will discuss how to print the longest common subsequence.